Cleo saw what George was doing and asked, "Where did you find her?" As George went to go get a blanket for the blue Pegasus, he said, "In the bathtub." Cleo stared at George and then stared at the Pegasus and then checked her pulse, and it was still pretty fast. But then Cleo gave the Pegasus some sort of medication. The Pegasus's pulse calmed down, turning into a normal heartbeat, and Cleo sighed in relief. Cleo took care of the Pegasus, and the Pegasus slowly woke up. Her head felt really dizzy, and she could barely able to sit down. What happened? The Pegasus asked, still feeling dizzy. What happened? And Cleo said, "Well, my brother George found you in the bathtub, and then he put you here." Cleo asked, "So, what's your name?" And the Pegasus said, "Rainbow Dash." And Cleo said, "Oh, that's a nice name." Rainbow Dash groaned in pain. And then Rainbow reflied her eyes and then said, "I feel really tired." And she added, "And I don't feel so good." And Rainbow Dash passed out. Cleo ran to the kitchen and got a type of Medar chain from the fridge and gave it to Rainbow and said, "There, that'll suit you until morning." And she covered her with the blanket. That was actually George's sweater. Cleo walked upstairs and went into the room that George was in and said, "Hey, just to let you know, I helped the Pegasus." George asked, "Oh, really? So, what's her name?" Cleo said, "Rainbow Dash." After that, George asked, "Where is she?" Cleo gave him a hand signal as in meaning for "follow me." And both of them went downstairs, and then they saw Rainbow Dash on the couch with George's sweater as like to be a blanket. And George walked over to her and then said, Hey, wake up. Come on, wake up, please." And he asked, "Are you okay? Like, what do you feel? Rainbow Dash woke up for a few seconds to just say, I feel really dizzy. And she passed out again. George felt Rainbow's chest. It was normal, but a little bit slow. George stopped for a moment and then quickly picked up Rainbow Dash and then took her to the same room that Periwinkle was in. George put Rainbow on the bed next to Periwinkle and took back his sweater while he was at it. And of course, he covered Rainbow with a blanket that he found at the bottom of the closet. George walked over to where Periwinkle was, and of course he had to wake her up from a good sleep. He whispered, "Hey, Periwinkle, you might have to protect some pony, and also she is your sleeping partner, okay?" George asked, and then Periwinkle tiredly said, "Okay." George turned to leave, but then turned around again, faced Periwinkle, and said the most loving thing. "Periwinkle, I love you." Periwinkle smiled, yawned, and replied as a question, "George, I love you, but can I go back to bed now?" And she added, "Don't worry, I'll protect my sleeping companion." George smiled and said, "Sure thing, kid, / Peacemaker," and slowly closed the door behind him when he left. During the night, Rainbow would feel so dizzy that I guess when she was sleeping, she would fell off the side of the bed, and of course, when you fell off the bed, you hit your head on the floor. And that is what happened to Rainbow, and since she was sleeping, she hit her head. That means she is in a very deep sleep. So that made it so hard to even wake up from it. But since Periwinkle's mom was a unicorn and her dad was a Pegasus, Periwinkle had both of her parents. It's magic. And Periwinkle has special unicorn powers that can sense when something is wrong. So,
I don't know that.
So she hovered Rainbow Dash back on the bed, and she throughout the night protected her, even though she was sleeping. Clever enough, Periwinkle uses her right wing to keep Rainbow Dash from falling off the bed and kept her by her side. The next morning, Periwinkle woke up and went to see who her sleeping companion was, and she saw Rainbow Dash sleeping. Periwinkle gasped, and she quickly teleported an old movie machine, and the memories came back. And she put the movie machine on a soft carpet. After seeing her past, Periwinkle sat there for 5 minutes, and then she tried to wake her up softly. You can't be the same pony from my past. Then Periwinkle asked, "Are you?" Periwinkle looked at a picture of Philly, little Rainbow Dash, and back to the rainbow that was on the bed, and back to the picture, and then excitedly said, "You are!" And she accidentally woke up Rainbow Dash.